K Stevens 96 writes, glad to hear that you managed to make some progress with the video quality, Ben. You actually helped me out a lot with getting the video quality to where it should be. I'm still not 100% happy, but yeah, it's a lot better than it was. Salute, sir. In terms of video ideas, I would be interested to hear about your journey into motorcycling and your bike history, the bikes, mods, pros and cons, etc. Keep up the videos. Kieran. Cheers, Kieran. So, today's topic. Once upon a time, when I was a wee boy, I was working my first ever job, and I've been there about 4 years, so I must have been 19, 20 maybe. And I was riding my BMX to work, and across from where I worked was a petrol station, so I used to go there and grab a sandwich or a can of Monster, because I was a rebellious child. And I heard this almighty noise, and when I turned around, it was like the bass of the exhaust. You could feel it in your chest. It was like awesome. And yeah, when I turned around, there it was. It was a Ducati Diavel, and I was like, that is sick. And one day I'm gonna own one of those. So years go by. It was always something I wanted to do, was get my bike license, and I didn't actually get my license until probably a few years after that. It must have been, I don't know, 5-6 years maybe. But I wanted to do it several times. I had a bit of a rough working history when I was younger, not because, you know, me, or at least I hope not anyway. I got made redundant a couple times. One place I worked at went out of business, and we all got laid off, and it was just an unfortunate series of events. And every time I wanted to do my license, I just, things had come up, it wasn't doable. But yeah, long story short, I got to a point where I think it was, I'm trying to think now, it was close to COVID from what I remember. I said, do you know what, sod it, I'm gonna buy a bike, and then I have to do it, right? So I just finished building my 1985 Volkswagen Caddy pickup. Thing was awesome, and broke my heart a little bit, but I sold it in the hopes that it would fund a motorcycle for me. I'm gonna get stuck behind these guys. And yeah, so I went out and I bought my first motorcycle, and I didn't do the whole 50cc 125 thing. I went straight in, did what everyone said don't do, but I didn't care. And I bought a Harley Davidson Sportster. It was a 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018 Sportster. It's a 883. And sorry, this road's really bumpy. And I thought that thing was the dog's bollocks. And at the time, Harleys were kind of like, it was like the old man bike, but they started to come into their, I don't know, youthful sort of audience, I suppose. So yeah, I booked my theory test, passed it. I booked my sort of crash course, I forget what they call it now, direct access, that's the one. So basically you do 3 days of training, and then you do your A1 and A2 on the same day on the 4th day. So I booked it all. It cost me an arm and a leg, but it was, in my eyes, very worth it. Trying to find roads I can use without getting stuck behind traffic. Yeah, so I did the course, got home, took my Harley out, went for a blast. Awesome. I think it's probably about 3 months on that Sportster, and I started to get really bored of it. For an 883, I mean, if you guys know Harleys, they're slow and lumpy and heavy. So I was like, right, what can I do with this bike? And that thing got modified to high heaven. So I stripped the whole bike, like complete nut and bolt, I'll post some photos up so you can see what's on. And I did it all myself as well. I put a 1275 big bore kit on it. It had cams, it had custom paint. I had this like awesome, I was going for like a copper theme, so it was a metallic copper forged carbon paint job, all custom. I had all the engine parts powder coated in copper, all the little details, and yeah, it was just awesome. Stripped the front and back end as well. I did a Sportster 48 front and rear end conversion, so bigger forks, smaller but wider wheels. I wasn't all about that old school chop kind of look. I liked the big chunky sort of muscle bike kind of look. Yeah, awesome bike. But again, it was the same thing. It was because of how I designed it, and being a Harley, your feet are like way out in front of you. I don't care what anyone says, that thing was so uncomfortable. I could only do probably about an hour of riding, and my ass and my back were in absolute pieces. And I'm not even joking, it wasn't like, you know, go for a ride and kind of shake it off. It was, I was in pain. And yeah, I don't know, just wasn't for me. So I put it up for sale after, I think it was about a year. I'd done a few trips on it, went up to like Hinckley to this big Sportster meet and stuff, and it was good fun. But you know, bike got a bit of attention, and yeah, I loved it. But yeah, I had to go. So that went to a guy in Manchester. Funnily enough, he sold his Ducati to buy one, which was interesting. I got a message off him, I think it was 2-3 years later. He put it back on eBay asking if I wanted to buy it back, and I was like, nah, not really. But yeah, it had some really nice parts on it. It had I can't even remember the brands anymore, but it had like a full custom exhaust, like racing exhaust. Was it Jacqueline Hyde? I can't remember. But yeah, really nice. Again, you can see from the photos. I don't know if I got any videos. If I do, I'll pop them up there. It's all on my Instagram anyway. And yeah, so that bike went, and then I bought a I bought a 2001 Heritage Softail, again with the idea that the engine was a bit bigger, and I could do some really cool things to it. So I wanted to turn this into like a lowrider-esque drag kind of, just dirty, naughty looking bike. It's the same thing. Bought the bike, got it shipped down from Inverness, was it? I don't know, it was somewhere in Scotland anyway. And I wanted to come the one way where there wasn't traffic, and that had a 117 cubic inch bore kit on it. I think stock there 108, I believe, no, 106. Yeah, anyway, it was a big old bore kit. So yeah, racing cams, full custom paint in, it was an Aston Martin grey colour. I did the big spoke front and rear wheels, rear end conversion to a 200 wide tyre. I think stock they're like 160. I could have gone up to a 220 on the same rim, but yeah, it was difficult to manage as it was. You know, Avon tyres, yeah, loads of work done to it. I had Blow Performance drag pipes on it. Sounded mental, it sounded like a V8. Blacked out the whole bike, did a low rear end hugger, rear fender, and that all had to be modified to fit the new rear tyre as it was so wide. Yeah, did a caliper conversion, so on the back it was flipped over with I can't remember any of the brands now, it's been a while. Performance Machine anchoring arms, and it had racing forks, like the flipped reversed upside down forks, which is not a thing on Harleys, but yeah, triple trees, oh, all sorts. Yeah, Really cool bike. Again, sounded mental, looked absolutely ridiculous. It was such a cool bike. I rode that bike and I tried to go around a roundabout and scraped up all the bottom, scraped my exhaust, almost lost it on another corner. That thing was impossible to ride. Partially, well, not partially, it was completely my fault. I made the thing too low, too aggressive. If it was in Florida or something like that, would have been an awesome bike. But it just wasn't very practical for Cornwall, let alone the UK. So yeah, put that bike up for sale, made a hefty profit on it. And it wasn't about making money. Like, in my opinion, the bike was 100% worth that. You know, it had so much stuff on it. It had like a full breather kit on it, like had a catch can on the side, huge air intake, had Mikuni carb, so it had the slider carb on it. Like, that thing had, if there was parts you could put on a bike for performance, that bike had it. It was an absolute animal. Had all the jets tuned, and oh yeah, I mean, sorry Kieran, if I was going to make a video and like go through all the parts I put on the bikes instead, this video would be 2 hours long. But hopefully by the pictures and videos you see, you get an idea of what it was. And yeah, it was a really cool bike. But again, it was just, you know, I'm a bit of a fair weather rider. I like to go out on a nice hot sunny day and just go for a rip. And yeah, that bike was more of a show bike. It wasn't practical at all for ripping around the roads. If I wanted to take it to bike meets and get a load of attention, yeah, probably would do that very well. But yeah, anyway, so put the bike up for sale. Guy fairly local to me actually bought it. He's still got it actually. Every now and again I get a message on Instagram or Facebook, you know, asking me, you know, if I do this, you know, what's the best way to do it, or what forks are they, so I can get them, get the new seals for them, and always asking questions. Like, really cool guy. But he's really looking after that bike, and I think he's actually done more work to it in terms of, you know, tuning it up a bit. But yeah, really cool bike. So yeah, from there it was time to go for the dream, and I thought, you know what, now is the time. And I started looking around for a Ducati Diavel. So one pop up at Ducati Manchester that a guy had traded in, and that was the one which you've seen in my earlier videos. Took that across Europe, had that wrapped in Porsche Miami Blue. I had almost every piece of carbon fibre you can possibly imagine, from F&F Carbon. Took the Terminioni exhaust off, put the Arrow Racing exhaust on. The Termi thing was just deafeningly loud. It was almost a bit embarrassing going through Italy with it. What else did I do with that bike? Not too much. I had the Michelin Power Road, I think they're called. 6s on there. Awesome tyres, by the way. I'm going to get a set for this when these ones wear out. They're just amazing tyres, really sticky, really grippy, and they get good mileage as well. But yeah, that Ducati was quite something. Like I say, it was my dream bike. The only reason I really sold it is we had a summer that was abysmal. I think I did like 150 miles on my bike that year. I did 4,500 on the Euro trip. By the way, if you haven't seen the Euro trip, have a look through my other videos. I don't know how to stick a window in like other people do, but I'll stick a link in the description below. They're all named, but on the thumbnails you've got part 1 to 10. So if you haven't seen those, check them out. Just yeah, did 7 or 8 countries. Started obviously the UK up to Folkestone, to Calais, through Luxembourg into Germany, through the Black Forest, Switzerland, Italy, did Lake Como, Did Lauterbrunnen, down to Rimini, Assisi, went there for a wedding, up to Monaco, into Barcelona, and then basically back up through France again on the west coast. Yeah, life-changing experience, but couldn't have done it without the bikes, you know. And yeah, so long story short, the Ducati had to go. It didn't have to go. It was a really expensive bike, considering what I paid for it and then the parts I put on it as well. Let's go this way. And that summer it basically sat in the garage for, it must have been 10 months. Couldn't ride it, was pissing it down with rain all the time. I don't ride in the rain, it's not fun. Woo! Yeah, I just had this kind of like, yeah, it's my dream bike, but I'm not super attached to things like that. And I'd ridden 2 Harleys, I'd ridden my dream bike, you know, the Ducati, which was quote unquote a muscle cruiser or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you know, there's a whole world of other bikes out there to explore, so the more bikes you can ride, the better riding you'll get. I'm not sort of brand loyal, I guess. Of course, if Ducati want to sponsor me, then I will ride their bikes all the time, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Yeah, there's a whole world of other bikes out there to try, different styles, different brands, different engines, you know. It's ironically, I've only ridden twin so far, because this is also a twin. I've test rode several. I've test rode a couple sport bikes. I really like a sport bike, but they're just not really practical for where I live. And I'm not, you know, I get the zoomies now and again, like just now, but it only lasts 5 minutes per ride. Otherwise, I'm just happy cruising around, enjoying the sunshine here in Cornwall, you know, nipping around on these B roads and just having a bit of fun, really. But you know, I'm not about this 150 mile per hour life. It's, you know, A, you're probably going to kill yourself, B, we don't have the roads for it. But yeah, that's my journey, really. My journey started off as, you know, seeing my little dream bike on my way to work when I was a wee boy. It turned into a reality, and I've always been a bit of a petrol head as well, so I've always been, you know, doing cars up, building cars. I've had, it's kind of an ongoing joke with, I'd say me and my friends, but it's more just my friends, that I change my cars every 5 minutes, and they always have if I buy a new car, they have bets on how long I'm going to keep it for. I am 35 years old now, and I'm on my 22nd car and 4th motorcycle. But it's not a problem, okay? It's a hobby, a very expensive hobby. It's not a phase, mum. Yeah, so now the KTM. Plans with this, hard to say really. I played around with the exhaust and stuff. I'd like to do something a bit more refined with the exhaust, but I actually really like how it sounds. This thing's more than fast enough for what I need it for. Looks wise, I'd like to wrap it. I just don't know what colour. The orange is also growing on me, but I was thinking like a matte sort of army green colour. I think would look really cool, because it's quite an angular, aggressive bike. Maybe a sand drab kind of thing, or yeah, I don't really know, but I'll do it one day. I'm actually really happy with it overall, but yeah, that's my journey really. It's kind of cool to explore new things, and you know, I've probably got another 1.5 years on this before I change it out to something else. I have no idea what to. I've toyed with the idea of getting another Harley, but then I look at them and I'm just like, no. Yeah. But like I said, if you've got ideas or questions or want to see a video on something, I'm more than happy to do a Kieran and see what I can do. Hopefully I got to the point that time. Thanks everyone again for checking out the videos. I really do appreciate it. I think we're up to like 238 subscribers now. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I can't say that enough. Like, genuinely, I do appreciate it. If you like the video, please do subscribe if you haven't already. Like and hit the subscribe bell notification. I don't know. Do what you want. I don't care. And yeah, I'll tell you what. If we get, I think what's the old dingleberry these days? I think it's 1,000 subs, I believe. If we get to 1,000, I'll do a giveaway. How's that? I'll do a giveaway. We'll give away some merch. I have some merch. It's not for sale yet because I don't know what to do with it. I like the shirts. They're good quality. The print's kind of nice. Got all the logo and stuff on them. I just don't want to, again, push out this fake ideology of a channel. I don't know. Just not keen yet, you know? If there's enough interest, I will, but just not yet. But yeah, if we get to 1,000 subs, I'll do a giveaway. Again, appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I shall see you later on there, man. Ciao, 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 and have a lovely day. Cheers then.